Welcome back, and thank you for joining me today in this episode specially geared towards helping ease symptoms of lower back pain. For this session, you may want a folded hand towel for your head, just to give you a little bit of support for the neck. There's an exercise that you may want a strap of some kind just to help you with the stretch. And you may also want either a folded bath towel or blanket, or if you've got one, some kind of block that you can sit on to help with some of the seated work. Otherwise, all those are optional, so see how you get on and you can always add them in at another point. We're going to start lying down, so when you're ready, come down onto your side and just take a moment to roll onto your back. And then just give yourself a moment just to let your body relax. Maybe have a scan through and see how it feels. Notice if you have any tension in your shoulders. Do you feel that pain right now in your lower back? And take a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep going for me, just focusing on some nice, long, deep inhales and some nice, slow exhales. Learning to breathe is really important for managing pain, discomfort, aches. It helps to calm our parasympathetic nervous system, our fight and flight, when we're feeling stressed, as this releases a lot of adrenaline and cortisol into the body and can make things feel worse. Breathing also helps to relax your body and relax your muscles. And again, if we're feeling very tense, this can cause tightness and exacerbate things. So it's really important to learn to relax before you start to move. And then when you're ready, simply bring the right knee in towards the chest, gently hug it, and lengthen the left leg along the floor. Reach through that left leg as you hug that right knee in gently. Feel that lovely stretch over the front of the left hip and maybe into the right buttock as well. Hold for a couple of deep breaths, relaxing into that stretch. And then place the right foot on the ground and hug your left knee in and stretch your right leg along the floor. Same thing, feel that length into the right leg as you gently squeeze the left. You can also hold behind the back of the knee if it's more comfortable for you. And just take some nice deep breaths. And then place the left foot on the mat, bend the right leg in, and then bring both legs one at a time in towards your chest and gently squeeze the knees in towards you and feel as though you're trying to gently pull the pelvis off the ground and stretch that lower back. Release a little and then hug a little. Release a little and hug. Inhale, release. exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. And exhale, squeeze. And then place the hands on top of the knees and just circle the knees round together. Essentially giving yourself a nice back massage, but also encouraging blood flow to your lower back, which in turn can help flush out inflammation, and that can help alleviate some of the discomfort. And then we circle the other way, just breathing normally, relaxing into it. And then do a similar thing, but this time taking the knees in opposite directions. Allow your pelvis to move a little so you keep that massage into the lower back. But let your legs feel quite heavy as you use the hands to turn them. And then reverse the other way. This helps to mobilize your hips and again help to flush out inflammation and encourage blood flow into the joints. And then gently bring the knees towards your armpits and squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Wherever feels comfortable for you. You don't need to get the knees into your armpits. You're just looking to feel that gentle stretch in the lower back and possibly in the inner thighs as well. And last time, squeeze and release. And then allow both feet to come back down to the floor. Palms turned down by your sides. And we're just going to curl our pelvis towards us, sinking that lower back into the mat. And inhale back into neutral. Exhale, curl the pelvis. Inhale back into neutral. And we're going to do 6 more. And this is a lovely way to begin to mobilize and loosen up any tension. Quite often we get a lot of compression in the lower back, so this helps to stretch and open up those vertebrae, as well as lengthen the muscles of your lower back. 2 more. Exhale, curl. Inhale, release. And then exhale, curl. Inhale, release. Now if you wanted, you could do another 6 of those. Or if you've got the head pad behind your head, take it away. I'm going to curl the pelvis towards us. I'm going to press into the soles of the feet, and then we're going to peel the spine off the floor, lifting up the hips. Breathe in and breathing out as you roll down. Back into neutral, breathe in. Exhale, curl the pelvis, peel the spine, lift the hips. Inhale and exhale, rolling down. Let's do 3 more. Really focusing on the articulation of your spine, trying to get each and every vertebrae to move. Watch the knees don't start to drift out to the sides. Imagine holding a tennis ball between them. Inhale at the top and exhale, rolling down. 1 more time. And then from here, just take the arms slightly out to your sides, palms turned up. Walk the feet to as wide as your mat or slightly wider. And just gently let the knees rock from side to side. This is a take on the hip roll or the spine twist lying down. And I quite like it for sore backs because it allows a little bit of rotation but not too much. Sometimes we can feel a little tentative with twisting movements. So this allows you to start building that confidence. Also, again, mobilizes those hips where we can hold a lot of that tension. Let's do one more to the other side. And then bring the legs up. Just allow the knees momentarily to touch. And then walk the feet in. Bring the soles of the feet together and then let the knees open out. Just take a couple of breaths, relaxing into that. And then bring the knees back together. Separate the feet slightly, separate the knees slightly. And just allow the arms to rest where they feel comfortable with the palms turned down. Take a moment to just lift the heels and balance on the toes. Now if you get cramped, by all means put the heels back down. You don't have to have them lifted. But I find it just helps prevent us from pressing too much into the feet. I want you to feel a little bit of pressure into the back of the pelvis, into the mat, and start to feel those lower abdominals engage. Then lift the right leg slowly into a single knee fold and place one hand on the knee and press into the knee and press the knee into the hand. And notice how when you do this you feel a tightening across the tummy. Lower the foot down. And with control, switch sides and do the same thing. Press into the knee and release. Now, as well as engaging the abdominals, this can also help to open up the sacrum, which is in the back of the pelvis. And again, an area where we can feel a lot of sharp pain. And we can get a build-up of inflammation, and this just helps to open up the sacrum slightly and allow that blood flow and allow that inflammation to be flushed out. Okay, keep the arms down by your sides. Lift the right leg into a single knee fold. See if you can find a little bit of that contraction in the lower abdominals that you've just had. And then we tap the toes to the floor. 8 and lift, 7 and lift, making sure that you keep those left toes light on the floor. 5, inhale tap, exhale lift, 3, 2, and place the foot down on 1, toes light on the floor. Lift the left knee and do the same thing. Inhale, tap, exhale, lift. And just keep that awareness on those lower abdominals working away. Not too much, but just enough that we start to build that strength to support the back. Keep the right toes light. And 3, and 2. And place down on 1 and drop your heels. Good. From here, roll onto your side. Now, if you've got a thick towel or block, you can place that under the head and you can have the arm out in front. If you have any tightness in the shoulders, you might find this a more comfortable position. Otherwise, arm underneath you. And place a towel between the arm and the head. And then make sure those knees are stacked perfectly, one on top of the other, and the soles of the feet are in line with the back of the pelvis. If it helps, you can use the back edge of your mat to line yourself up against. Press into the hip, pushing it away, and feel the lower waist lighten on the floor and straighten the spine. Keep the hips forwards as you open the knee and close. So we want to avoid rocking backwards as we open. We want to get these glutes in the buttocks working, and the better you are at stabilizing the pelvis, the more those glutes are going to work. Exhale to open, inhale to close. 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Good. Stretch the top leg out, bring it in line with your hip. Flex the foot, push through the heel. Feel the length in the back of the leg, and we lift. 8, 7, making sure we're not letting this hip drop into the waist. We're keeping these hips stacked one on top of the other. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a quick break. Whilst your leg rests, place the hand behind your lower back if you can. If you have a restriction in the shoulder, you don't have to do that. You can keep the hand on the hip. I just want you to feel the shape of your back. Hopefully it's nice and flat or slightly neutral. And then reach the top leg, flex the foot, and as you glide the leg forwards, be sure not to push back into the hand just to get your leg further forwards. Bring it as far around as you can without changing the position of your back. Point the foot, swing it back, and take it as far back as you can without lifting up the bottom leg or rolling forwards to compensate. Flex forwards, point back. Flex forwards, point back. Abdominals as you come forwards, glutes as you go back. 4, inhale, exhale 3, inhale, exhale 2, inhale, exhale 1, take it back and bend the leg in. Lovely. Okay, let's switch over onto the other side. So again, whichever arm position you did on the first side, do the same for this side. You can line yourself up at the back of your mat, or just make sure head, shoulders, back of the pelvis, soles of the feet are in line. Knees stacked one on top of the other, hand on the hip, push the hip away, shoulder relaxed. And we open the knee. Inhale, close. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. 6 more. 3, 2, 1. Lengthen the top leg away. Flex the foot, push through the heel, and we lift. 8, 7. Exhale, lift, inhale out, making sure we keep those hips in line. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a moment to rest the leg. Place the hand behind your lower back. Feel for that natural shape. Stretch the leg, flex the foot, glide it forwards without changing the shape of your spine, and then point to bring it back. You may find you can only bring the leg to here, and that's fine, whatever your range is. Exhale forwards, inhale back. Exhale forwards, inhale back. Good, 3 more. Last one. And rest the leg down. Good. From here, pick yourself up and come up into a seated position. Okay, so I'm going to turn sideways so you can see, but you can face the screen you're watching this on if you prefer. So hands behind the back of the legs and use the arms to lengthen up through your spine. I want you to grow as tall as you can. I want you to imagine that you're pressing the crown of the head on the ceiling. And then you're going to do a tiny movement, initiating it from your pelvis. And it's just a simple tucking of the pelvis. And this encourages us to open through that lower back. But what I want us to avoid doing is, just because we've tucked the pelvis doesn't mean we need to collapse into this. I want you to carry on lengthening through the spine. So, crown of the head is pressing on the ceiling, and we continue to press up through the head as we allow that pelvis to tuck. And then as the pelvis rolls forwards, we take a moment to re-lengthen. Keep the head on the ceiling, tuck, roll forwards, lengthen, breathing in, exhale, tuck, inhale, lengthen. So this is encouraging us to lengthen our spine, to open the vertebrae and stretch some of those tighter muscles. Good, one more. And lifting up. Now if you have a low bone density condition, I would recommend continuing with that. Or if you have a particularly sore back at the moment, then definitely just keep doing that. But if you want to take it a little bit further and your spine feels happy to do this, your shoulders relaxed, you initiate with that tuck and you allow yourself to roll back, but without losing the length in the spine. Inhale, we all roll forwards. Exhale, we either just tuck or we tuck and roll. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. And then roll up. Let the knees open, soles of the feet together, and just lean forwards. If you have low bone density, so osteoporosis or osteopenia, keep your spine straight and focus on the length. Otherwise, you can fold forwards for a nice stretch. And slowly rolling back up. So for this next stretch, you may want to sit yourself on a block or rolled up towel. It's completely optional. You can have your legs straight, you can have your legs bent, and you might also want some kind of strap. So if you do have a very tight lower back or tight hamstrings, sit on a block, bend the knees, use a strap, pop it over the feet, and gently pull back with a rounded spine. If you have low bone density, pull back with a straight spine. And feel that stretch. However, if you feel like you've got the range, you can do this with straight legs, pulling back on the strap. You can also do it off the block if you don't feel too tight in your lower back or hips. And you can have straight or bent legs. If you have got the length to reach your toes, you can also reach the toes and pull back. Either way, you're looking for a nice stretch of the spine. And release. Okay, from here, come round onto the hands and the knees. So we're going to go into a really good stabilizing exercise called Superman for swimming, and this is excellent for strengthening the core. I want you to start by just making sure the wrists are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips, and that you have that nice flat back, not sticking the bottom out or tucking it under. Imagine balancing a glass of water on the back of your pelvis. And then just see if you can lift one hand without leaning too far to the right. And then lift the other hand without leaning too far to the left. Imagine a line down the middle of your mat in the center. Goes between the arms and between the legs. And then imagine that line down the front of your body, down through the nose, through the center of the chin, through the sternum, through the belly button, and through the center of the pelvis. Line the two lines up. And as you move the hands, lifting each hand away at a time, you want to keep those lines lined up. So what we don't end up with is a body that sways from side to side. Now see if you can do the same thing with the legs. We're going to slide the right leg away without leaning to the left. We can lift the right leg and lower and slide back in. And then we do the same with the left leg. We slide, we lift, we lower, we return. It only needs to lift as high as your hip maximum. If we go too high, we're going to dip the pelvis. If you want a little bit of an extra challenge, as you lengthen away the leg, you can reach the opposite arm, lift to shoulder level, lower, and return. All the time, keeping those imaginary lines through the center of your mat and the center of your body perfectly in line. Last one each side. Breathe in, exhale, lengthen, lift, breathe in, exhale, lower, return. Breathe in, exhale, lengthen, lift, breathe in, exhale, lower, return. And then either curl your toes under, round your back, and lean back towards the heels slightly for a nice stretch and a little bit of release on those wrists. Or if it's comfortable, open the knees, uncurl the toes, and sit back onto the heels and stretch forwards. And then when you're ready, come back up onto the hands and the knees. So we're going to do a little bit more spinal articulation with emphasis on the low back and rounding, and emphasis on the upper back and extending. Make sure the wrists are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips, and you start with a flat spine. Initiate from your tailbone as you tuck the pelvis under, allowing that lower back to round towards the ceiling, the abdominals to pull in, the head to drop slightly. Take a breath in as you stretch. Exhale, initiate from the pelvis as you unroll the spine. Keep the pelvis neutral. Lift the head slightly, drop the shoulders, and push the heart between the hands. Inhale. Exhale, initiate from the pelvis as you tuck and roll up the spine. Focus on that lower back. Inhale. Exhale, bring that pelvis back into neutral, but don't go any further. Don't stick the bottom out. Instead, focus on lifting that chest and widening your collarbone. Inhale. Exhale, curl the pelvis, ripple up the spine. Inhale. And last time, uncurl. Lift the chest. Slide the shoulders. Keep that pelvis neutral. And then round. And either tuck the toes under and once again lean back towards the heels. Or if it's comfortable, you can uncurl the toes, Sit back onto the heels, have the knees wide and slide forwards. And then whichever position you're in, walk the hands a little way round to the right, bringing the left hand on top of the right hand and gently leaning into your left side. And then coming round to the left side, right hand on top, and gently lean into the right side. And then bring it back to center. Gently come up onto the hands and the knees. Turn yourself over. And that is the end. I hope that helps, and I hope things feel much better. Please make sure you drink plenty of water to help rehydrate your discs and your muscles and flush out any toxins that have accumulated from the release of tension. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon for another session. Take care. Bye.